What's up, everybody? I'm Cool Goldfinch, and welcome to Poke Theory. As you all could probably guess, I'm a huge fan of Pokemon, and I love everything about it. Well, okay, maybe not everything. I'm looking at you, Gen 5. While I might share the hate everyone feels for the 5th generation of Pokemon, there is one generation that received a lot of hate during the time of its release that I just don't think was deserved. That was Generation 3. No, that's not a joke. Generation 3 is my favorite generation of Pokemon, because it has a Genie. Ha! Get it? It's like Genie? Ha, yeah, I totally got that. Totally nailed it. Another tally mark on the wall of bad puns for me, especially when they make sense like that one did. Yes! But honestly, I'm not kidding. While there were a few super amazing Psychic-type Pokemon in the previous generations that could literally hurt you by looking into the future, nothing comes close to the bedazzled Violet Soothsayer that was introduced in Generation 3. That's right, I'm talking about Sableye. Not the most obvious choice, I know, especially since it's not even a Psychic type. I wanted to go with Gardevoir, but I couldn't seem to find any picture on the internet where it didn't have boobs, so I went with Sableye. Not that having boobs is a bad thing. While Sableye might not look like much at first glance, this little guy is a pro at telling the future. Don't believe me? Don't worry, you will. Starting off, what's the first thing you notice about this Pokemon? Obviously all the body piercings this guy has, right? Yeah, I noticed that too. The gems it has are actually formed because of the rocks it eats. Minerals from the eaten rocks crystallize under its skin and rise up to its surface. It's actually pretty interesting. I've always known that the gems on its back were supposed to be a ruby, a sapphire, and an emerald to represent the 3 games it debuted in. But more recently, I noticed that its eyes look like diamonds, and then a crazy thought flew through my head like Star Fox doing a barrel roll. If its eyes are diamonds, then is the gem on its chest a pearl? And if it is a pearl, did Sableye predict the coming of the 4th generation of Pokemon in the beginning of Generation 3? Well, there's no solid way to tell what the stones on Sableye's back are, since they've only been described as gems. But there are other ways of finding out. We are certain that the red gem on its back is a ruby, since that makes the most sense for the Gen 3 Sableye. In Generation 4, the pearl gem is usually pictured as a round or oval-shaped gem that is an off-pink or light red color. By this logic, if the gem on the front of the Generation 3 Sableye is a few shades lighter than the ruby gem on its back, then there is a good chance that the gem on its front is in fact a pearl. So I went ahead and took the sprite into Photoshop, and this is what I found. Drum roll, please! They're exactly the same color. Damn it, that's disappointing. But now we know that the gem on its front is in fact a ruby, not a pearl. This rules out the possibility of Sableye predicting the coming of Generation 4, especially since the Generation 4 Sableye has a pearl on its back, even though it looks like the button from the Do Not Press Flash game. Checking the colors against each other, I did find that the red gem on the Gen 4 Sableye is a lighter rose color compared to the deep red of the gem from the Gen 3 Sableye. Jeez, it's a lot of gens and gems. So, I guess Sableye can't predict the future after all. Oh, I had such a good pun for the future sight attack saved up. But wait! Sableye does actually predict the future in each generation. How is this possible, you ask? Well, it might not seem like a lot to us now that the Gen 3 Sableye had a ruby, sapphire, and emerald on its back, or that the Generation 4 Sableye had a diamond, pearl, and platinum gem on its back. But here's some food for thought. When Sableye was redone in each of these games, only the first 2 in each series were released. Meaning that by having the emerald on the Sableye in Gen 3 and having the platinum gem on the Sableye in Generation 4, Sableye actually predicted the release of both generations' 3rd game, simply by being designed. That is pretty cool. This means that Sableye can be used as a tool to judge what game might be coming next in the series. And this trick works for Black and White as well. What? You say that the gems on Sableye's back told us nothing about Generation 5's next games? Well, good job for noticing. That was what I was just about to point out. You see, in both previous generations, the gems were color-specific and mineral-specific for the games to be released in that generation. Those generations also had a 3rd special game. In Generation 5, there wasn't gray version, there was a black and white too, and Sableye reflects this turn of events. The gems on its back make no sense, meaning that there wasn't going to be a 3rd game in Gen 5 after all. And lo and behold, Sableye was right again. Now, let's put this theory to the test. Sableye is most accurate with predictions in generations that are named after minerals, making it extraordinarily difficult for us to use this method of predicting the future of Generation 6. But, just for fun, let's take a look at Sableye's X and Y model anyway. Take a look. What? You don't notice it? Okay, so it's safe to say that since the gems aren't in shapes resembling the letters X, Y, or Z, that Sableye can't really tell us much about the third special game that may or may not be coming out in Gen 6. However, there is something very special about the Gen 6 Sableye. It is the only Sableye to have a design that exactly mimics the design of the Gen 3 Sableye. And what exactly is the significance of this, you might ask? Well, why else would Game Freak reuse a design when this Pokemon has always had a different design ever since it was created? The only reason I can think of is to hint that remakes of Ruby and Sapphire are on the way. But Sableye is just one part of that puzzle. Puzzle that I'll be continuing next time on Poke Theory. Subscribe to get a reminder when the second part of this myth is uploaded, where I'll explain why Ruby and Sapphire remakes are on the way, and they'll be here sooner than you might think. So definitely click that subscribe button. On a side note, which Pokemon would you rather use in your team? Sableye or Mawile? Click on their picture to vote, and I'll tell you guys the favorite pick next time on Poke Theory. Thanks for watching.